For almost all of human history, nobody slept the way you do. No 8 straight hours. No, just one solid block until the alarm goes off. For thousands of years, the human body was built to wake up in the middle of the night, on purpose, and just exist in the dark for an hour, every single night, and then go back to sleep. We didn't call it insomnia. We called it normal. A historian named Roger Kirch spent over a decade digging through old diaries, court records, medical books, and letters from before the Industrial Revolution, and he kept running into the same strange phrase over and over in different centuries in different languages. First sleep. Not a first sleep. The first sleep. As if everyone already knew there was a second one coming. People would go to bed around dusk, because before electric light, there wasn't much else to do once the sun went down, and sleep for 3 or 4 hours. Then, somewhere around midnight, they'd wake up, not from a nightmare, not from noise. Their body just surfaced. On schedule. This waking period had a name too. People called it the watch. Here's the part that sounds almost impossible today. Nobody panicked about this. There was no reaching for a phone, no staring at the ceiling doing math about how many hours of sleep were left. The watch was just time. Ordinary time. Folded quietly into the middle of the night. Some people prayed. Religious texts from the era even included specific prayers meant for this exact window between first and second sleep. Some people talked. Married couples would lie there in the dark and just talk, and historians believe this quiet hour was actually a common time for intimacy, precisely because the rest of the household was still asleep. Some people got up entirely. They'd check on animals, tend a dying fire, visit a neighbor who was also awake, or sit with their thoughts. And then, after an hour or so, they'd lie back down for second sleep and sleep straight through until morning. This wasn't a cultural quirk unique to one country. Kirch found references to two-phase sleep across Europe, and separate research has found similar patterns described in part of Africa and South America too. It shows up in different centuries, different religions, different languages, which is usually the sign of something biological, not just cultural, and it's been tested. In the early 1990s, a psychiatrist named Thomas ran an experiment where he took a group of people and cut their exposure to artificial light down to match what humans would have experienced before electricity. Long nights, no lamps, no screens. Within weeks, without anyone telling them to, their sleep split into 2 blocks. On its own, the body defaulted back to the old pattern the moment modern light was taken away. So what killed segmented sleep? Not evolution, not health. Light, cheap, reliable artificial lighting pushed bedtimes later and later. Once people were staying up past dusk under gas lamps and then electric bulbs, that long biological night got compressed. There wasn't room for 2 sleeps and a waking hour anymore. There was barely room for 1 solid block before the alarm went off for work. By the early 1900s, references to first sleep and second sleep had all but disappeared from written language. Not because the phrase went out of fashion, because the experience itself had vanished. An entire nightly ritual, thousands of years old, erased in about a century. So here's the thing worth sitting with. If you ever woken up at 3 a.m., wide awake, mind quiet but alert, and felt a flash of anxiety that something is wrong with you, it might be worth knowing that for most of human history, this was not a malfunction. It was a schedule. Your ancestors weren't lying there panicking about it. They were praying, talking, sitting by the fire, existing calmly in the dark, fully expecting to fall back asleep afterward, because they always did. We didn't lose good sleep. We lost the second act of it. Next time you wake up in the middle of the night and can't figure out why, maybe don't fight it so hard. For almost all of human history, that hour in the dark wasn't the problem. It was just part of the night.
Ha, Psyches. Subscribe.